Hello, listeners. Welcome to Changepreneurs podcast, where we bring conversations that spark change. My name is Sathish Kumar, a life coach from South India and founder of Changepreneurs podcast. Co hosting this special episode with me is Sunil Satyendra, another professional coach. We are recording this episode on 12th August, 6 p.m. IST. Today, we are honored and privileged to have Shraddha Subramanian. Shraddha is an award winning ICF PCC coach, business manifestation and executive leadership coach, India's first intuition expert, elite victory coach for professional athletes, certified shadow mastery expert, NLP master practitioner, author of Circle of Perspectives, and founder of Sparkling Soul and Breakthrough Sports Academy. She is a LinkedIn top voice and has established herself as a thought leader in the industry. She has more than 20 years of leadership, 3,500 plus hours of coaching, and training experience of impacting 7,500 lives from 23 different countries. She believes everything you desire is available now, and with her intuition, she can identify deep rooted subconscious blocks in just 3 minutes of your time. Healing through cancer, she transitioned from employee to entrepreneur as her purpose evolved to impact this world by enabling organizations and businesses to live their potential. Being a national level hurdle racer, she loves speed, which makes her coaching very innovative and disruptive. She is a master in cutting down preparation for change time, making transformation an easy and quick journey. She is conferred with many prestigious global awards as Global Women Leader from World Women Leadership Congress and featured by many renowned publications such as Fortune, Outlook, Times of India, and many more. She is also founder of SJT Wellness Center, which supports cancer patients deal and eliminate emotional root causes for holistic healing. Shraddha, welcome to the show.
So much, Satish.
Most welcome.
Very honored to be having this conversation with both of you, Satish and Sunil. Thank you for inviting me.
So
All
fantastic.
right.
So I'll go ahead. So there was one point in this, the entire introduction where you smiled. And it was mostly about cutting down preparation time, something, if I exactly heard it right. So what happened there? I know I'm going all coach on you at the first chat. But that was the most interesting bit of the introductions.
So, and thank you for picking that because that's one of the most important and something very dear to my heart. So I have always believed that growth is natural. It's a natural phenomenon. If you don't give food to a child, their height, their weight will still increase. The bones will grow. So the human being will grow. What then comes in the form of human transformation, if we talk about? And that's where, having worked with so many people now, I totally believe that you don't have to really go on 6 months, a year, 2 year as a transformation journey. And when we are talking about a world where we say that it is like a 10-minute delivery of products, right? Why we are talking about human transformation to take years together to happen. So that is a subject which it's very dear to me. I do a lot of research. I do speak with a lot of people when I coach people, and over the years, I have realized that as a coaching or training industry, we can't sit on another planet and say that if you want to be transformed, come to us, sit on this planet for that much period of time, and then you go back to your planet. Because on the another planet where they are, things are moving very fast. So that's that, coming to another planet, sitting there for 6 months is like you have already gone 6 years back on your own planet. So, in that space, when we are talking about the world moving at highest speed possible today, why human transformation has to take that much of time? And that's when I talk about the work of energy and intuitions, when I talk about the space where as coach I can provide, or as coaches we can provide, because I think we all have to be a part of it, totally in it. It's not a one person job, it's the whole industry that is where I look at it. So my thought process is very disruptive. We can't sit as a planet separately. We have to, amalgamate, go on and live with the world together. And from that space, then we go on cutting down the time for people to transform. And one of the biggest element is the preparation for change time, because change is like black and white. It's there or it's not there. Totally. If I ask you, are you asleep? You will be able to answer no if you are awake, and in a flick of a moment, you will be like gone. That's how it is, right? That's how change is. Now, if change is like there or not there, it's the preparation of for change which takes a lot of time for people, slowly, steadily, all of that. Now here my forte is I am able to identify people's deep rooted subconscious blocks in just 3 to 5 minutes of time in a simple conversation. And when you have found out that root cause, eliminating it or replacing it is where we can make it faster. A lot of times we are playing on the surface, and that's why you are not able to make that transformation happen, because the transformation is there for a while, and then the person again starts to feel there is something beneath, something beneath, something beneath. So there's a lot of layers right there when we talk about coaching, right? So preparation for change time, if I'm able to cut down, I know that I am bringing the results faster, I am bringing the transformation faster. Another example, if I take here, is if a cow is left on a golf course, but she's tied with a peg. Now she can only graze the grass till the circumference of the circle, depending on the length of the rope. Now, initially, she won't feel the tension of the rope because it's all easy for her, it's all happening, and she's able to graze. But as and when she's reaching towards the circumference, she is pulling herself in, and the rope, and there is a lot of tension right there she's feeling, right? And such is with humans. When we are feeling that we are on the orbit, but we are not able to shift the orbit, we are extended, but we are not able to find the solution. We are stuck, but we are not able to break through out of that. And that's where the cow keeps grazing. But if I remove that peg, the cow can live and eat the golf course, which is like, if I draw a parallel for humans, your subconscious block is that peg which is right there. And if I'm able to identify that, you are living an expanded life right there. And that's what cutting down the change time is all about for me.
Mind blowing.
So as long as you're not the golf cart owner, I think this would be fantastic, right? So,
Of course, of
the
course. Yes, yeah.
well, that's a beautiful metaphor. I really like that space that you're bringing into. And yeah, so there's just of those observations that happened, and there was a very strong reaction to you. When Satish was sharing that, I thought I should ask that with you, and check. And maybe because today we've had that conversation in the morning. I'll just steal Satish's question and sort of ask you. So you had the most amazing of smiles and energy when you're talking about what's most important for you right now. I think that was a answer that I was mind blown with. So I want the audience also to get mind blown with the same.
I think, I think we were having this conversation in the morning also, but uh, one of the roles that I'm playing right now is the elite victory coach for high performance athletes. And I have been a national level hurdle racer myself. So I know the physical strength and the mental strength part of it, what goes in and how much hard work goes in and what all skills goes in. But now, what's important is the conditioning of your mind. I worked on myself then a lot on this. And now, being a coach, understanding the role of subconscious mind in whatever you do and wherever you want to create success in your life, I think sports is one area which literally lights me up. Like, it feels like expanded version of me right there. And when it comes to support international, national level athletes who are representing the country at the global stage, it means a lot because it comes from my own backstory of a failure which I had when I was in 10th standard. That I made false start twice at the national level hurdle race, and I was asked to leave the final race where I knew the gold medal was mine. And that was my first failure, a big failure. But that Shraddha comes alive when today she coaches the international players, players of India representing the country. And last year in Paris Olympics 2024, we had a lot of fourth positions. So we had a full chance of double digit medals for India, but we didn't make it because we had a lot of fourth positions. And I totally believe that there was no lack of skills. The skills were right there because of which we were there in the fourth, and we were competing for the third and the fourth constantly in a lot of competitions. What was lacking was that breakthrough moment, that moment where you are just crossing the line, and that's where your mind, your confidence, your uh, ability to see that breakthrough happening right there in that moment, whatever way it is. So today, what I'm looking forward to contribute to is to all the India players who are going to participate in 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and looking forward to create like a mass double digit medals for India. That is where I am super excited about at this moment.
Oh wow,
Wow.
fantastic, fantastic.
You're sparkling from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an interesting question, Shraddha. The name of your business says Sparkling Soul. What was the thought process behind that name?
Thank you for asking that question, Satish, because again, it's very close to my heart. This name comes from my mother. So
Hmm.
she was diagnosed with cancer in 2010, and then when doctors had mentioned 2 years of life for her, she defied all the medical predictions and lived for 9+ years. And
Mm.
totally, like, even on the deathbed, she was a sparkling soul. And people were, everyone who used to meet her, even during that phase, never felt that she was sick. So
Mm.
that kind of a soul, uh, my mother was. And then the company name came from her as a sparkling soul. And my belief for creating this company was that I believe that every soul is a sparkling soul, every soul. It's
Mm.
just that the journey back to them is where we have to head towards. We are so much outwards. The more we head inwards, I think that sparkle will start to shine. And every soul, every human being, I visualize that, they are full, they are expanded and sparkling in their own way. So that's the context behind the company.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, Sparkling Souls has that history, and you talked about your mom. And another aspect which you, I think, in the previous conversations also shared was that there was a 10-year-old Shraddha that was, or the 10th standard Shraddha that was interested in there. So, uh, who's that 10-year-old Shraddha, and how do you access that 10-year-old Shraddha?
Okay. So that was like a 16-year-old, 10th standard. So she was always bubbly, happy-go-lucky, always celebrating, positive. And I think I'm like her now as well. And doesn't take much to access her. So I would say there's a lot of alignment in my work, the alignment that I carry for myself, the alignment that I bring in whenever I have conversations with people. It could be a casual conversation, it could be a coaching conversation, whatever it is. I think those sparkle in my eyes is her, is what I always relate to, what I always feel.
That's amazing. So it's easy to always access that 16-year-old, not 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Thank God
and now
10-year-old kids are not doing the exam.
yeah, and there are a lot of other versions of her now, because obviously the evolution that I have seen in myself, that 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 her is preserved, and then that her where she had to evolve is also evolved. So I think it's a beautiful evolution.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Shraddha, you mentioned that you were a national level hurdle racer.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time when you hit the track and started running? Was there somebody who inspired you to start running?
Again, a beautiful question. I'm enjoying this conversation totally. It's like, taking me back to the memory lane, and totally enjoying it. So I think, it was not me who chose, it was my parents who chose to
Mhm.
enroll me, for running. And I don't know, I didn't get a chance to ask them that when did this thought come to you, but they did enroll me
Mhm.
when I was 10 years old. So there's a reference
All
of 10
right.
years, of course. When I was 10, they enrolled me into sports coaching. And I think from there, the journey shaped up as it shaped up, uh, as who I am today. So I feel very grateful to my parents that whatever came up in my life from that moment to this moment is amazing. I mean, if I talk about my name, they gave me the most beautiful name that anyone can have. I know all the names are beautiful, but I connect so much to it. Like Shraddha means faith. And I think,
Mm.
you know, today, if I say I am in a faith building business, helping people build faith in themselves, in their businesses, in the process of life, within myself. So there's so much I think they gave me, from the moment that from the name to this moment, 43 years. It's an amazing space, and so much gratitude I have for them. So yes, so they shaped me up totally.
Oh,
Fantastic.
fantastic. So you are actually going down memory lane. You're accessing that. You're smiling through this. I will ask you another question that possibly I'm famous for, right? So, three cartoon characters that you most resonate with. Cartoon characters. Either of those answers is absolutely open.
Cartoon characters. I think Donald Duck is one of my favorites, I would say, because I think we all have grown up seeing Uncle Scrooge. That is one character I love. So that is one of it. And I think recently when I was watching movies with my daughter, all the characters which show courage in their
Mm.
stories, I love them totally. Like be it Mona or be it there's one more. I'm forgetting her name, but all the characters which show up courage, because that's me. So I totally resonate with all those cartoon characters. I'm a serious type person. I mean, not like a lot of fun. So Donald Duck I use when I am into a fun mode, like making fun of anyone, and you use that uh, those sounds of Donald Duck when you are talking and all of that. But otherwise, I am yeah more inspired by the other ones, which represent courage.
Courage is something strongly there for you.
Thank you.
So, Shraddha, you look completely positive, happy, grateful, all the positive qualities that you exhibit right now. Were there moments in your life, when you felt like, why me? Life was so challenging.
I think everyone goes through that phase. There would be no one in this world who would not ask that question. The point is that how long you are asking that question to yourself. So in
Mm.
my book Circle of Perspectives, there's a term which I coined. Which I call it as
Mhm.
rebound time. And the thing that I believe in, it's all about the rebound time in life. The larger the rebound time, the more you are missing the fun, missing the life that you can live. And then the shorter the rebound time, the more there is to life. So that is what I've learned, over the years that, okay, the challenge is right here and you would break down. Of course, you would break down. There's nothing like that. Like, I remember when my mother passed away in 2019 June, 6 months, I was just totally in grief. There was nothing I could do. Like in between, I just enrolled for some course for 5 days, some learning. That happened. But it was so much of grief. It just engrossed me totally into it. And there were back to back incidents which really happened. Like 2019, my mother passed away. 2020, my father passed away. All of that was happening so much back to back that life was not giving me time to recover. And now people, when they jokingly tell me, uh, possibly they are serious, I don't know, but I take it as a joke, that you don't have gray hair. And how come you are able to coach at that level? No, people in
Mm.
60s, when they do that, because they are wiser in their life space, possibly. I just say that what people go through between 30 to 60, God fast tracked my life and made it between 30 to 40. All those one by one by one by one by one. And, turned me into a wiser me, a better me, or whatever version you would want to call it. So it's a blessing, though it was very challenging to go through. Of course, as I said, my mother was one of my first coaches, a strong believer in me. That one person in your life when you feel that, that one person is the most important one, that was her for me. And when she left, there was like a mountain falling on my head totally. And my daughter was just 3 then, had to take care of my father. A lot of things were right there. I had left my job and I was, wanting to start my own business. Right there, you are solopreneur. You don't know what to do. You are not in the space to do anything, and you don't have work to do. Right? Otherwise, you are engrossed in that. You feel better faster. But then there was nothing actually for me. So that is where processing that grief, and then when I started to process it, there was another grief that came of my father leaving. Back to back it was. And then my own journey of cancer 2012, that was another journey. So a lot has gone in, and that's why this version sitting in front of you is I think an outcome of all of that. And today I am so happy when I am asked to sit in a washing machine and it runs at the full speed, because I know that the next version is going to be better. And that thing comes every 3 months now. I mean, that's the fastest journey that's happening. And now at least I know I am in the space of allowing. I don't put a resistance to it. That, why is this happening? This should stop. This is not how I want it to be. A total surrender. I don't know where you're taking me, but I have that faith that wherever I will land up, I know there is a protection on my head which says you are safe. So that's where it is. That's how it is actually.
Thanks for sharing. I have a follow up there. You mentioned that God fast tracked your lifespan of 30 to 60 to 30 to 40. Within 10 years, you could achieve that 30 years of life. So, what lies ahead from 40 to 60? How do you propose to use the time?
There's a lot that lies in 40 to 60. Definitely. I mean, why the fast track was done, it was done for a purpose, right? Otherwise,
Mm.
I would have lived 60 to 80, that piece which was supposed to be between 40 to 60, right? That's how it is. So there's a lot. I mean, I think there's a lot to be done for the country. That's number one. I mean, I am totally into it. Because I feel a lot there's a lot to be done to the Indian economy. There's a lot to be done to Indian sports. There's a lot to be done as how we operate as humans. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of startup companies. Those are coming up. There's a lot of evolution happening in the country and of course worldwide. But I would want more to be focused on our country as such per se because I love my country and I want it to really show up on the map like anything. So that is where I feel that the fast track happened, so that I can be used, used in the sense to be of service to people, to my country in various ways possible, be it from the business front, be it from helping the employees in the corporate world, be it helping the athletes of the country, whatever way, like you can be of service. So God made me serviceable, is what I say. I've been coachable to be serviceable.
So I was asking, so generally, because you were sharing about this aspect of being the medium for something and being serviceable, what's the messaging that you are trying or sharing to the rest of the world, saying, "Hey, here I am. Be a part or make me a part of your journey."
I think uh, it's very simple that I am a learner and I'm here to learn. So whomsoever I meet, I just tell them one thing, that I always look forward to learn from you and add a value to you, whatever way possible. So that's my message always, that I'll keep learning from you and I'll also keep sharing as a value add, whatever it could be.
Awesome. I think that's very, very interesting. And because follow up on that possibly is what's one thing or one person you remember who's been the most kindest to you? That's something
Most,
you always want to replicate. Who's been the kindest to you? What's the memory of somebody being the most kind to you? That's something you want to replicate.
I think there have been a lot of people. I won't be able to say one or two people. I think a lot of people who have brought this version of me up right here. It has taken a lot of work for not only for me, but for God to send those kind of people in my life for me to learn from. And I remember the first conversation I had with my one of my school friends, and he introduced me to the power of gratitude. This was 2009. So not like I didn't knew, but we both are like we always love spiritual conversations which revolved around new things. And one fine day, I remember we were just having a conversation, and he mentioned about uh, Rhonda Brand's book, The Magic. And then obviously everyone knows about the power of manifestation and stuff that started as a drive from there. So I think the magic was the first space where I feel I did structured gratitude. Till then, I was grateful, but I think I started to understand that okay, how do you structure your gratitude? How do you actually start to look for gratitude in small things possible? And over the years, I feel so much full inside in the space of gratitude that whenever I say a statement of gratitude, also sometimes I have tears in my eyes. Like I feel so grateful that that gratitude just flows. And it was like 2 hours back when I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her that I'm so grateful that God sent you in my life. And I had tears in my eyes, and she was like, "What happened to you?" It is just a blessing in that moment. I'm just feeling that, and that's how I think life has become over the years of, I won't say practice, but acknowledging that what you have is so much already there. So a lot of people have added to it. Like this was one of the friends I mentioned, but there are a lot of people, I would say, a lot of mentors, coaches, the people I have met, the people who may not have been kind to me also, they have taught me a lot. And I have a lot of gratitude and respect for them as well, because I feel that if they would have been kind to me, I would have not learned that lesson. So, so I now ask a question, what's the lesson here? If it is tough, it is getting a resistance. Like if I'm coming in between myself, then I'll ask what's the resistance here and where it is coming from, and what can I do? Like, who can I be to really overcome it and just pass through that stage, whatever way possible.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. So, gratitude has its space. When you said structured gratitude, I think that's the first time I'm hearing of that. And oh, so when it comes gushing and flushing.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does very well.
Shraddha, I have a question there. From 2009 to 2025 now, and I heard you saying I did a lot of inner work. I really want you to double click on what the inner work was and how the whole process looked like for the benefit of listeners.
Oh, why not? Sure. Like, so 2009, I was working. I was working in the IT space. So 2009 to 2018, I was still in the corporate zone before I left my corporate career for good. So I think, though I was enjoying my corporate career, everything was great, but there are still areas where you feel right that maybe
Mm,
this could have been better, or maybe um, this person could have treated you better. Those kind
mm,
of elements, right? Or maybe in your relationships, right? Personal relationships, you feel that, oh, why this conversation has to go this way, like, and there's a lot of self identity that you have about yourself. And
mm,
I have been a person who, I would say, had a lot of ego, but of course, I would stand my ground a lot.
mm,
I would I would not give in very easily like that.
mhm,
Rather, I would say that um, surrender did come too easily for me. I was making it all
mhm,
happen for sure. This is what it was. But then when God sends you those elements where there's no other way than for you to break down totally, like you break into pieces, and then he picks you up and reformats you, like totally like that, the formatting of the hard disk that generally we talk about. Totally like
Right.
done and dusted, and then you're rewriting all the softwares, all of that. I think that happened somewhere. So he kept that positive, happy go lucky, that child alive, but I think the rest of it was like totally wiped out. And slowly, steadily, as I said, being grateful came more into picture.
Mm.
I was grateful always, and I think that's why I had a flourishing corporate career. I never had complaints about anything in my life. I thought and I
Mm.
made it happen. That kind of vibe I always was like that. So no
Mhm.
complaints on the corporate career, no complaints on what I could have achieved. No, it was all part of the process, is what I understand. But today I know that I can surrender. Today I know that if things are not working out, I would give it a day, two, three, four, sit with it. I would not run behind it. Earlier, I would do that. I would do that totally. And if we understand the concept of energy here, we all have masculine and feminine energies, right? Both the energies. We are an amalgamation of that. So if I go back to my childhood, we are three sisters as siblings. And
Mhm.
because I was into sports, I was I had imbibed more the masculine energy, like doing kind of a thing, get stuff done
Mhm.
kind of a thing. And even I was raised like a son, like you have to take care of stuff,
Mhm.
you can't be vulnerable. So even in 2012 when I had cancer, I was not at all vulnerable. I didn't cry much. I don't remember. I just created a, I don't want to use the word drama, but I didn't create any kind of thing that, oh, this has happened to me, or, where is my life going and will I live or not? No questions asked from anybody, just shutting myself down and then standing tall only for my parents, my husband. Really, like, I'm rock solid, nothing has happened to me. Though internally I was falling, breaking into pieces, but I
Mhm.
still had created that kind of, I was a wall kind of a person, I would say, that I will stand for everyone, stand for myself. So done and dusted. If you want anything, come to me, we'll get it done, like that kind of. Now, over the years, after my parents passed away, I think that wall was destroyed purposefully. I could
Mhm.
allow that for me to feel all of that. In fact, the 2012 of vulnerability I could feel. Like after my parents passed away is where I think I remember I then posted it on my social media about my cancer in 2012. I
Mhm.
never had that courage to actually talk about it.
Right.
So I rather than courage, I would say I was not vulnerable enough to share that. Okay, something that's what can happen to me. Like, oh, why? It's okay. That's fine. I mean, that's not a big deal, kind of a thing. No, it's a big deal. It is a big deal. I have gone through like very deep moments, but I was not acknowledging that. I was not coming face to face with it. So now the period of transition, especially the last 6 years, 2019 when my mother passed away to this moment, I think I've learned to be vulnerable. I've learned to be vulnerable. I've learned to be in my feminine energy. I've learned to
Mhm.
be, not to do. And that's why the energy work that I do with people today, because energy is all about being, it's not about doing. Like how I was able to scale my business 10x with the energy work in myself is what I help people with today. It's not like you do like blind calls to people and you will receive the business. If your energy is right, people will reach out to you. And and I get my business just like that. I don't chase my clients. They come to me. And that's the energy.
Mhm.
That's the work of being, you are centered, you are grounded, your identity is not like okay, I will show to the world. It's not of that sort. It's more of a surrender that, okay, if you have chosen me for this purpose, you know that you will send people when there will be a need. And I will give for that. That's it. So I think the surrender has been one of the things, imbibing that vulnerable me, uh, stepping into that feminine energy of myself, being rather than getting stuff done, like total masculine kind of thing. I don't say that it's right or wrong, but I think that's when you pause, that's when you don't rush, that's when you don't chase, you attract. So that's been the journey, like that's been pretty much it.
Mm. Thanks for sharing, Shraddha. It takes courage to share something like what you have shared in a public platform. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sathish, for asking that, because as I said, there's a lot that's happening today in this zone. I am just channelizing. I'm just channelizing
Mm.
whatever it is, and I think whatever here you are here to create. We are here to create is already in making is what I see. So whatever it is, I think we are just the medium. I am a medium here. Just share the message to the people that yes, you should be vulnerable. You should be able to express yourself. Don't be those walls. Don't create walls around you. It doesn't help. It just puts you down because then you use a lot of energy if there are walls. And when those will break, you will break more. So don't try to protect yourself from breaking also. Allow yourself to break. I always give an example to my clients, very, very simple one, that if there is a 40-liter bucket
Mhm.
and now you're wanting to put 100-liter into it, that will not fill up for sure, right? You have to expand your bucket to 100 liters, maybe
Get
200.
a bigger bucket.
Yeah,
Mm.
we have to be that bigger bucket rather than do that 40 you will put in, you will take out some, you will put another 40. That doesn't work. And in that, then there is energy leak also, where you have holes and cracks in your bucket. So you will see that it is leaking from all the ends, right? And what everyone else in the world is doing is taking that tape and sealing the bucket. Allow
Mm.
the bucket to break totally. And when
Mhm.
it will form back again, it will be like a 200, 500-liter bucket where you will be able to hold more. Don't stop yourself by playing taping game. I always say just keep on tape. Putting tapes, putting stickers on your bucket. Don't do that because you have to have that energetic expansion to contain. With my clients, there are so many vulnerable stories, and if I don't have that space to hold those stories, they will not be sent to me.
Mm.
So my energetic expansion is of utmost importance for me to hold the space for them to have their own space in my bucket where they will not be
Mm.
judged. They'll be only seen for who they are. And so many people will have to be there, right, in that energetic space. So working on your own energetic container is something. There is nothing else in the world we should be doing. We should be only working on expanding your own energetic container. Who are you being? Your layers, cutting them down, your resistance, cutting them down. Because the resistance, the nose, why should I do it? All of those are your leaks, the energy leaks in your bucket, and you are just sealing those.
Mhm.
So that's another example I give it to everyone that you want to do more, first be more, and then you do more. People do other way
Mm.
around. If I have to do start reading a book, I'll add on to it like 5 minutes a day. you are already occupied 23 and a half hours. If you want to add those 5 minutes, you will never be able to do that. And then you beat yourself up that I had decided, but I didn't do. I don't have the willpower. Willpower is considered to be the most, misunderstood term.
Mm-hmm.
You use willpower as a collision, not as an
Mm-hmm.
alignment. And when there is collision, there is always an erosion. You are losing your willpower for small things, and you are using your willpower to go against yourself to get stuff done, which is not the way we should do.
Mm-hmm.
We should be looking at the alignment. Is where exactly I feel aligned. When I'm aligned, things happen faster. And that's why when I work with people, 10 years of results get created in 1 year, and 5 years in 5 months. Because the moment there is alignment, your 5 hours of job will happen in 1 hour. And that is like collapsing the time. When you are aligned, and every one of us have that state, okay, we all have experienced it. Alignment is your peak energy zone. There's nothing else. Your peak creativity, peak energy zone is alignment. So when you are aligned, you're creative, your 5 hours of job, you do it in 1 hour. Quickly ho jata hai. There's nothing where you have to sit and do it. You'll quickly get the ideas, you will done and dust it. So then in that 4 hours, you have another thing that you can start. So that's the thing. You make space first and then add. People add things and then there's no space. That's the problem. And then you play with your willpower, eroding more yourself in that process, which is like a totally, going in the opposite current of the flow. So there's a lot. I think I spoke,
Profound.
but
Yeah, yeah. Pretty profound and inspiring, Shraddha.
Yeah. So many things that you shared in terms of breakdown being essential. Breakdown is not bad. The whole aspect of willpower, cohesion, time being sort of compressed or doing more or being more. And yeah, I think so many things to sort of just pause at. And I was like, okay, I'm the one who's supposed to ask the next question. So where do I pause? What question do I ask? Um,
Mm.
it felt so beautiful because you talked about the whole feminine energy and the masculine. So I was like, okay, this is the whole concept of Ardhanareshwara coming in, and then you said, you have to wait. It's possibly like Nandi. Then you said, time compresses,
there's a lot.
and that story sort of reminds me of when I think Subramania or Ganesha, either one of them, I think Ganesha, sort of goes around the parents rather than going all across the world. So many interesting thoughts for running in parallel cinema was running there while you were sharing all that.
Happy,
So,
happy. It's getting valuable here.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I think breakdowns sort of have had that impact on all of our careers and all of our lives. And I sort of also just want to nudge you on that aspect of saying the whole sports coaching and the sports space there. You shared that your failure was in that the gold was always like it was almost yours. And then the two false starts later, it was out. Uh, how did that breakdown sort of put you up to where you are today?
I think, to be honest, I didn't realize it that it was a huge breakdown until very recently when I actually made it to the India camp from the other side, 2020, 1920 kind of a phase. So, yeah, it was a heartbreak then, definitely, because 5 years of hard work we have put in totally just for that medal and just for that place to play for your country. And then suddenly it just, wipes out totally. But it had its impact. Definitely, it had its impact. I won't say there was no impact. There was an impact for sure. But I remember after that it was like 11th, 12th, and then you have to pick up the right subjects for the engineering, and you have to go on like that. So uh, you just pick yourself up and you go on. Though my engineering first year was not very good, it felt like as if I'm just doing something which I don't enjoy or I don't want to. But given the stage of life I was in, and then the state of life one is in, you choose, you make that choice. And I think that's where the whole thing shaped up, that yes, that's the right path. Yeah, so that's where it was. And my elder sister is also a computer science engineer from the same college, and so I think those days we would follow our elder siblings and do whatever they have done. So that's how I think I followed her path, and then started with my engineering. And when I completed the engineering, I got a job. Then I came to Pune, and then since then I live in Pune. Though I've played global leadership roles, I've lived in different countries, interacted with people across the world, and one thing that remained very common, I think from the time I remembered myself is I have been very curious about this question, that why people do what they do. So when I lived in different countries, when I interacted with people, my global teams, it always was my question to ask. And I think I learned a lot from all my peers across the world, because as a human being, we are the same. Like whether it is Indian, European, American, Mexican, doesn't matter. Like all have emotions. We all are passionate about some sport that we can talk about. We are all passionate about how we talk about our parents, we talk about our spouse, we talk about our children. Like everyone is like, there's a lot of humanness in it. I feel so. This is what I learned while I was in my 15 years of long IT tenure. That people are people, and there's a lot of lessons from that perspective that I learned during that period. That taught me a lot, actually.
Oh, absolutely. Second that. So I think also maybe to add to that, people are people in terms of how they talk about traffic. So I had a crazy 40-minute conversation with a Kenyan guy saying, "Hey, traffic is the same, is as horrible as is in Bangalore as is in Kenya." So until that conversation, we were just transactional conversations, and after we spoke of traffic, we were best of friends.
Yeah, so I think one of the thing is very common. Like we used to play a game in childhood, right? Name, place, people, things, right? I think that game is applicable everywhere. Like anywhere you go, you can hit a conversation with anybody on these four topics, and then you will find that there's a lot of similarity in right there,
Right.
and in also the thought process, I would say. Like, so it doesn't have to be if you are from a different country, you will have a different thought process. Um, but innate behavior or the nature as a human being is same or similar. That's how it is. So there's been a lot of learning, I would say, and especially during my on-site trips. While I was working with TCS, I had like more than 2 years I lived in Tokyo. And then when I was working with HSBC, I did a lot of London trips, short ones, 3 months, 1 month kind of a thing. So I remember myself taking my self-help books, my journals, and actually writing. And all of that, when I wrote all of then, is true today. Like I didn't know, I just knew that you write. Like I didn't know the word manifestation then. I just knew that you write, you express yourself, you journal, whatever way possible. And from the time I remember myself, self-help books were my favorites. Like I've hardly read any novels or things. I think I have more read uh, books which talked about humans, human mind, uh, human emotions, all of that. So I think that had a profound impact where I could close myself down. Like after work, I would take something to eat and then go home, and then I will just read and write, and it turned out so much so that today it's just like a fascination about the same.
Wow, super. You are a very profound thinker. I think spirituality has come to you very early and continues to be. But I let Satish go for his questions. I want to put him under pressure now, saying, okay, what questions to ask?"
I'm enjoying this. Your work is very, very inspiring, Shraddha. So I have an interesting question here. Let's say that I am a listener. I'm a 40-year-old listener looking at Shraddha talking right now, and I'm getting inspired. And I want to be like Shraddha. So if you have to give me 3 tips to become like you, what are those 3 tips?
I think number one, I would say stop thinking that it's a rocket science. So,
Hmm.
imagine it is as easy as taking a breath of a fresh air. So, that's
Hmm.
where you've already nailed it. Then we don't need commentary also, Satish.
Okay. Interesting. Hmm.
Because I believe, that it's not a rocket science to be who you have to be. And before that, I would say that people don't have to be Shraddha. People have to be themselves. And for that, if they
Hmm.
just believe that it's not a rocket science to be themselves, and it's like a breath of fresh air where they can experience themselves at any moment in time, whenever they want to, and it's available, always available, always. So that's it, right? I mean, there's nothing more to it. There's nothing more to it.
Wow.
I, Let me play the critic in this or the devil's advocate in this. Sort of, is it as easy as you make it out to be, right? So that's the question that possibly I know the answer you're sharing, but I think I want you to share it for the audience as much as for anybody else.
So sorry, I missed the question, Sunil. Can you-
Is it as easy as you make it sound to be? Just be it is as abundant as is.
Yeah, I think. See, what have we got? We have got this moment only. There's no past. There's no future right there. So if this moment I'm
Hmm.
able to take a breath and just consciously look at my breath, where is it going? You know, observing myself. I think I think that is easy, right? That's not difficult. So it is easy. It is easy. The challenge comes in where I am not wanting to focus on my breath, where I am seeing some result outside that okay, Shraddha, give me 10 tools to do it. And now I will do all the 10 tools, but then while I'm doing those 10 tools, I am not internalizing them. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. So then the results are not there. So there is an easy path, but we feel that it is difficult. It is very difficult. And if so, thank you for asking that question, Sunil. I want to mention this. I don't have I can't stress too much upon it. How much I mean it is. I told you earlier also that growth is very natural, and I have always believed that we have to grow with ease. We don't have to grow with pressure. So it shouldn't be like, okay, fine, I'll do 10 rituals in a day and then I'll reach where I have to reach. It's not going to be, it's not going to be making you that person at all. But versus if I say, okay, I'll take a breath and I'll observe my breath, that's easy. And that's it. That's what you need, basically. You don't need 10 rituals in a day for you to play out that bit. So
Correct.
all my programs, if you look at it, even my program for business owners, there is a masterclass that I do. I have named it as Skyrocket Your Business with Ease, because I believe the growth has to be with ease. There's no other path. There's no path of pressure. The path of ease is where we have to follow. And that's where we actually feel that we have to constantly be on the roll, keep doing something for my success to come. No, you have to just be. The moment you be, the results are coming. That's what I totally believe in, and that's very easy. Very easy.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think
So,
also.
Shraddha,
Yeah, sorry. So
please go on, Sunil.
mostly this aspect, I don't know if I am not correct in my understanding, is from a very Eastern philosophy kind of a thing, right? Just exist, just be, kind of a thing. It happens. So I am one of those guys who believes in this space of this Swayambhu, right? There's no action, there's no reaction to it, it just exists, kind of a thing. And that's the most easiest thing of existence for things to happen. And whatever is coming your way, possibly breakthrough or breakdowns, is a gift. So that's how, I don't know if I've put a question to you, but these are some of my thoughts around whatever you just shared.
No, I get that. I get that. So I'm not saying that you just be and don't do anything. From that being, whatever inspired action comes, because I call it as inspired action. I don't call it as haphazard action. Like, that's not a space of doing that. You keep on nailing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will, somewhere, like you were saying, that there will be a breakthrough or a breakdown. Fine. But when there is a breakthrough, if you observe any of your breakthroughs, you will find that there was a right set of energy with the right set of action. Like, right set of action in the sense those were inspired actions where you felt that this will break through for sure. Everyone has that example. Everybody.
Mhm.
So your energy has a big role to play. So why not first align your energies, be in that ease, and then from that space, if you ask yourself, like, what do I need to do in this moment? That's your inspired actions. So I always say that first the alignment, and from there the inspired action. So actions you have to take, there's no other go, right? If you just keep sitting, there's no outcome that's coming. But what's the foundation of your action is where the whole game will lie. If your foundation of your action is desperation, then the result won't come. Like yesterday only, I was speaking to someone, and a sales leader, and he was talking about the sales part of it, that sales, what has happened is three team members, one team member left, one was like not performing, so we have to ask, let them go, and the third person was good, but then there is some family emergency that has come in their place. So now I am the only one as the sales leader left for a 4-member team, including me, to create those number of sales. It's a high pressure thing. There are targets to achieve. All of that is was happening. And then in that conversation, when I brought this to him, that uh, he was going all logical, that I have the list of people and stuff like that, and all of that was there. That I've exhausted my list, and then the connections have to build, and nobody gives you business if there's no connection. A lot of beliefs I could hear right there. And when I opened up this for him, that this is what is happening. So now your energy, how it is flowing, because one of my posts I had mentioned that sales is like leadership. Energy plays a role in sales. So he was very curious. And then when I explained to him that you are running from a space of really achieving the target, so there is a pressure. From pressure, you are going to overwhelm in your feeling, because out of 4 now you are the only one. So it's like you're running on 1/4 capacity. So there is obviously overwhelm in your energy. And then from that overwhelm, every person you're pitching to, you're desperate for conversion, because you don't have to go to another person to do the same job. So when there is desperation, your potential client will run away. They will run away because before you realize, they realize that this person is desperate, or maybe before you realize, or if they are about, and he also mentioned that they are about to convert. They were about to convert and then they ran away. And I'm like, were you thinking that I'm only one? How will I fulfill what is it that they want? I'm running on low capacity. He said, yeah, I was running on low capacity, thinking that if they give me the deal, what will I do with it? And I'm like, they came to know it about it totally already energetically. They knew that you are running low on capacity. That's why they didn't give you the deal. But versus if you had thought energetically that whatever it may be, I know I'm capable of fulfilling the deal, they would have given it to me. So right there, the three levels of energetic leak, I could show it to him that this is what is happening in your system right now. What you have to do is first recalibrate your energies, bring that alignment back. You're totally out of alignment. And then you will see that you take a pause of 5 days and then 5 months of your business target you will achieve in the next 4 months and 25 days very easily if you just take that 5 days of break. So that's where the energy comes into picture. That's where your inspired actions have to happen. Your foundation plays a huge amount of role. If you are desperate and then you are taking the action, no amount of action is going to create any kind of result. Maybe there will be a slightest of movement, like an ant moves or a crab moves, which if you are mistaking it with success, it's not real success. You will keep on moving like that for the rest of your life with the wrong foundation. If you have the right foundation, you will go leaps and bounds every time. And that I've seen with myself, and I've seen with my people I work with, the people I interact with. Your foundation has to be right of your actions. So actions have to happen, but those have to be inspired actions, not haphazard actions. That's so important.
Thanks for sharing, Shraddha. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. I mean, I can relate to lots of majority of corporate folks who are working in the corporate, right? And majority are there. How do we how do we at the moment only there is a very low minority which is very aligned, and they take that inspired action towards achieving their goals, right? So how do we bring more people to this side?
I think what has to happen is we have to stop upskilling the leaders as we are doing right now in the corporates. Upskilling for doing more sales, giving them strategies, tools. We have to stop doing that and we have to help them focus on their beings. We have to help them focus on who they can be as free beings, giving them that freedom to explore who they are, getting back to their own journeys. What is it that they can extract as their own journey, as their own story, as their own essence of life, which they can go and implement in their leadership spaces?
Mm.
Today, what we are doing is we are going with a protocol that's saying that, okay, there are 5 types of leadership, 4 types of leadership, what kind of leader you are. There's This is a textbook thing we are doing with leadership. And if you're doing textbook, then results will be textbook. But the results are
Right.
not supposed to be textbook, right? It's like an out of syllabus
Mm.
question for them to solve. They are given a textbook and then they are given a question paper, which is like an out of syllabus question to solve. And now we are
Mm.
saying that our leaders are not capable, or our leaders are capable, but they are not producing results. So we have to stop upskilling them on tools and strategies. We have to upskill them to their journey back to themselves, where they can share better stories with their team members and connect better with their team members for things to happen. Like I remember from my leadership days, one of the ritual which I keep sharing, on very many leadership forums, is you have to start doing check-ins every day. Maybe it's your stand-up conversation, or maybe it's your team meeting. It could be a monthly, weekly, daily, no matter what. If you do an emotional check-in of one word, that how are you feeling in this moment before the start of the meeting, you will be able to solve a lot. Number one, you will be able to understand how that person is feeling right now. So if that person gives any rubbish idea, you won't snap at them. Number one, you will be accommodative of that person. You will be adjusting, you will be appreciative of the fact that maybe something is going on in their life. Number one. Number two, the whole team gets bonding with each other that this person needs support today. Let us provide that support. Let's not judge the person. So there's a lot of less judgment. The energy on judgment in teams is very high, very, very high. A lot of time in corporates, what I'm solving is the judgment of each other in the teams. And if we are able to drop those judgments, I think there's a lot that we can produce as results collaboratively as teams. There's a huge amount of human potential right there available, right? Which can really move mountains if they had to. But because of judgments about each other, they are standing in opposite of each other, moving the mountain right there in front of each other, not together pushing it out. So this one ritual of check-in, I used to do a lot with my team. And because of that, my people started to become innate leaders. Because I was in that phase, maybe mostly when I was a new mother, I went back to work, I would have a different thing running. And when I would say that today I am not in a space to give you answers, rather I would want you to bring answers and we choose the best out of it, whatever way it is. That gave them total confidence that yes, we can stand, we can propose, and then they'll do the groundwork also about it, because if they have to propose, they know that they have to propose it in the right manner. They have to do all the work in the background like a leader would do, and then we would brainstorm, discuss. So I was the first one to check in when we used to do a team meeting. How am I feeling in this moment? And my team would know whether they will expect best answers or worst answers from me, and they would support me, and then we would support each other from that. you know Even if I would snap at them sometimes, they would understand. They will not judge me. I won't judge them either if they would, give me back something. So all of us became so accommodative, and so, everyone could step up, because sometimes if I had to leave early, I would assign someone else to join a leadership call, and they would, speak up, because now they have learned already just by doing that check-in and just by knowing it. And the funniest thing would happen is, a lot of people from other teams would come and ask me, Shraddha, do you have a place in your team? We want to join your team. Looks like your team has a lot of fun and you get a lot of stuff done also. Like, how do you do that? So I think this is so important in the corporate world, that we stop, first of all, being the person that I have to know the answers. Inclusivity is something that I always tell leaders, that you must have it. You have to be vulnerable as a leader. No, no other goal, because we are living in a dynamic world. People are having so much of potential, but if you don't show up, they will not be able to replicate it. They will. You have to be that mirror for them to see that they have the potential. You can't be a closed book yourself and opaque object where they can't see their own reflection. So yeah, I mean, I would say that in the corporate world, the only thing, if I'm given a magic wand, I would change is stop all the upskilling and stop saying that you are this kind of leader, that kind of leader. I am a leader whom I have to define by myself. That's my definition of who as a leader I am. And then how do I take those stories? How do I connect with my people? That's my innate way. There are no two people have the same DNA, right? So I say that leadership is your DNA. It's in you, and no two people can have the same leadership DNA as well. There can't be.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Shraddha. I hope many folks from the corporate leadership listen to this bit, because it's very, very important, very, very profound. If they understand the crux of this, what you've just shared, the whole corporate world will become a better place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I so much feel that as MNCs, when we work here, as Indian companies, when we work, if we just change this thing, if we just imbibe this thing, I think nobody can stop our growth. Nobody. We are right here, generating results like anything, and our employees also will be growing at a faster pace. Today, there is a lot of stuck feeling, right? We can give promotions only to these many set of people because percentage and the percentage hike and stuff. So, in my book, I've talked about this very, from a career point of view, from an organizational point of view, value for money or money for value. So, it's like whatever salary you get, you give that much of value. But if you can give this bit extra, your organization has done better. It's a cycle. And when your organization is done better, that comes back to you as your salary hike or increment hike or whatever, a promotion, right? But then a lot of people play with this that, okay, I'm given only this much salary, I'll do only this much. So then when you're doing only this much, the organization doesn't grow, and organization is not growing, your salary hikes reduce. And then again, you have the same mindset, I'm getting only this much and do only this much. So it's either this cycle or it's that cycle. Like, it's those two cycles always run in an organizational space. So it's very important to exploit the potential of your employees by giving them a space for them to grow, for them to express, and there's huge amount of potential for organizations to grow if that can happen. Like, totally, we can do a mass transformation right there.
Time warping into that, right? So, and is that also the same, Shraddha, with regards to the athletes that you work with, the peak efficiency, and you said there's a lot of, possibly my wording, jargonization of leadership. Is that also a similar case with the aspect when it comes to the athletes? A lot of these, angles, techniques, physical fitness.
Definitely, with leaders and with athletes, there's a similar kind of a thing, because with athletes, they have their unique way. Though the techniques, the skills of the game will possibly be the same, but using those techniques, using those skills, the way, the approach of that will always differ from athlete to athlete. And that's where the whole game lies, where you try to understand that, okay, this person has this forte, and if the person uses this skill in this manner, there's the breakthrough right there. So that is where it is very important to understand. And with athletes, and with, of course, with leaders also, I have a very unique way of understanding what is happening in their life. So I have a very I have created a signature tool which I call it as energy map. So in the energy map, what we do is we map the energy from morning to night. We take time only as a reference. So we map the energy as high, low, medium, very high, very low. Maybe hourly, 2 hourly, 4 hourly, half day, full day. You can write whatever day you feel like. If you do map your energy for 7 long days, you will be able to understand that what are my high energy zones, what are my low energy zones, where exactly my leak of energy happening, very low energy zones, where I'm like passing through the medium energy zones, and the very high, it's like a peak performance for me, like that. Now, with that set of information about you, there are three questions I ask them. Is whom you were interacting with in all these energy zones, high, low, whatever it may be. What was your self-talk? What were you talking to yourself? And what is it the situation was then? What is the context in which you were? And that gives us a lot of information about the person. Totally. Because then you understand their energy enhancers, you understand their energy drainers. What you do is you go and identify their deep rooted subconscious blocks from their energy drainers, replace them, and you take their energy enhancers and you encode them on your future, on their future timeline. We can do that. Literally, those patterns that, okay, this pattern, who you were, okay, I was this in this moment. Okay, I encode. If I live like that person every moment from now on, I know I'm creating those breakthroughs. So, encoding that winning patterns on your future timeline is the whole game. And whatever has gone behind, we clean that up. We clean that slate, and we keep on encoding the winning patterns into the future. So that's where then you know that every time you're stepping on the court, stepping on the stadium, stepping on the field, you are operating from that version of yourself who has that winning pattern encoded in you. That's when you keep on creating that wins every time and again, time and again, time and again. Because when you are in that process, in the space of, that's a space of pressure, right? And in the space of pressure, only your subconscious patterns will kick off, whatever they may be. If you have encoded the winning patterns, those will kick off. If you have not encoded anything, your default ones are running, those will kick off. So, all this work with athletes, with leaders, with any person who want to perform at their potential has to be done in the background before, not in that moment. A lot of people say, why can't this person be calm when there is, a code break happening? When there is, support teams or your clients are really on sitting on top of your head and they want you to fix the code, right? If I'm not taking an example of IT, and why the leader is shouting, why the leader is, behaving the way he or she is behaving, like whatever way it is, because that's their subconscious pattern. When there is pressure, they break down. So we have to encode that pattern of when there is pressure, I do this in advance, not in that moment. Because in that moment, only subconscious patterns will kick off. It happens with all of us. Like, when we are under something, we snap or we get upset or we get angry. It is like really that pattern coming up for you. Unless you have identified that this happens with me, and then what would I want to replace it with? And consciously practice this so that when the real time comes, that practiced one kicks off and not the subconscious one, which was there earlier, kicks off. So with athletes, all that, this is how I go about, and this is how it's very important for the winning pattern to show up, for that pattern to show up, which you actually wanted to do. So you play with those life scenarios when you are gathering the information about your own energy on the energy. And from that, then I go about understanding their root blocks. With that, I understand their energy enhancers, and then I go about doing the rest of the work that needs to happen.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think that's a lot of time, effort, and alignment that has come through in all of the years of getting into coaching. You shared about the IT experience. I am now curious about how did the whole the non-sports or the skill to mindset kind of a space of coaching enter your life.
So, you mean from how did I turn from IT to towards
IT
coaching?
into coaching, yeah.
So, 2012, as I mentioned earlier, like I had cancer, and being a national level hurdle racer, my fitness, physical and mental, was always there, like, always fit. That's something that I run by. It's in my genes, it's in my cell, every cell of my body, the fitness lies there. And still allowing something of that sort, like cancer, into my system is where I started to ask questions that, if I'm already fit, why it came into my zone? What was the reason for that to happen? And obviously, there were reasons. I know why it happened today. I have all the answers because I could go back and really understand it for myself, that why it all happened. But in that space, then you are thinking that I am no judge, but if I, who is happy-go-lucky, positive person, can get into this zone of very deep space in my life, there are a lot of people who are dealing with stress and whatnot. So I must do something about it. That was the only thought, like the seed was sown. There was no other logic, or there was no other thing that I would be into coaching, or I would, do something of that sort. So that was 2012 when I underwent the chemotherapy and all the treatment and stuff. And then I remember uh, 2013, April 2013, very important thing happened. So, as I mentioned, I used to travel with my journals and my book to London. So, 2013 April, I was in London and I wrote a lot of things that I want to be a mother, I want to be an author, I want to share with the world whatever I have learned in the corporate space so far. That was like all those things I'd written down. And the cancer was also very rare kind of uterus cancer. When I conceived, and it was not conceived, and it turned out cancer. There's a lot of things happened in that space. So, like, to be a mother was another dream that I had. Like, and then today I have a daughter who is 9 years old. She was born in 2016, post 4 years of the cancer episode. And I feel so blessed that, this happened in my life. So 2013, I had written that, and then 2013 August, my organization gave me a chance to attend a 2-day workshop, which was about self-introspection, branding, and network. So I had just written vaguely that I want to share whatever I've learned in the corporate with the people around. That was the only statement. There was no coaching, there was nothing that was there. So 2013, when I was sent for this 2-day workshop, and I came back, and my department head always knew that wherever I was sent, I would come back and, impart it to my team, my boss's team, everyone out there. So it was like jokingly, I used to tell him that you get all the ROI, investing in me, to attend any kind of program that you send me to. And he always knew that. So it so happened that I created a half day pack of my 2-day learning program, and I started to run a program called as It's All About Me. And my department head said that I will do the sponsoring of tea and lunch from the department budget, and all the nominations were happening. So it so happened that it became like a corporate training where the trainer was internal, but it was run as a corporate training where nominations were happening. And I used to run it like 2 half-a-days a month. And there was a waiting list for that. Management teams used to send people to attend that training program of mine. And after that, and I had run it for management teams also, like people with 25 years of experience, 25 plus. I just had 12 or 13 years of experience then, and I was running a program for way senior people, possibly who I was looking up to become when I have that level of experience. But when I ran programs for them, their life felt empty. I could understand that they didn't have anything to write about. There was a section to write in hobbies, or there was a section to write about their vacations. They couldn't write much in that. Only thing they could write was work and family, and that's it, and finances, of course. So, so obviously that experience was there. But the more enriching experience was when this half a day program used to get over, people used to book my personal time. They started booking my personal time and started to share their own journeys with me. And that's where I came to know that leadership is so lonely. Because when they used to come and speak, that they can't share with their peers, they can't share with their bosses, their subordinates. And when they started to share it with me with a lot of trust in me, and they started to get the breakthroughs after our conversations, I think something started to shift then itself. That was like a massive breakthrough, and I started to enjoy that part more than my delivery management, global head role that I was playing at that kind of a moment in the IT industry. So I think that was the turning point, which things started to come alive in the coaching space, in the space of training that I wanted to impart and give. And I think a couple of my trainees also mentioned that why don't you do corporate training? You're so good at it. So I think that seed was sown, and that path was always started to build for me automatically. From 2012 I started to coach people. I did that program with almost 250 people in the organization, and whole of different management teams of different departments also. So a lot of people benefited. And the best result, I would say, is 2020. One of the participants who had attended my program in 2014. 2020, from LinkedIn, he figured me out. He reached out to me and then he shared that how it helped him, how the program helped him to choose his path, and how happy he
Wow.
is and fulfilled he is to have done a program with me.
Wow.
It was like totally fulfilling that okay, someone after 6 years of attending your program, coming back and sharing that with you, it was really immense amount of joy I feel. And by then I had already made a choice that I would be moving in this direction. So 2014, 15 I did this. 2016 my daughter was born, and then I think during the maternity break is where I started to seriously think that whether I want to go back or whether I want to do something of my own, because this felt exciting. This felt something that I want to do for the rest of my life. Nonetheless, I went back. I joined back after my maternity leave. I still continued to work for 1.5 years, and then I said I'll take a sabbatical. So 2018 January is when I took a sabbatical, and I took a sabbatical of 4 months. Then I extended for another 3 months, and August 2018 is where then I said bye to my corporate career. I said I'm not coming back. And September 2018 is when I published my first book, became a bestseller, Circle of Perspectives. And I think then the journey started. But then obviously 2018, the book published, and then in the same month, September, my mother fell down, and then her deterioration of health started from then, which resulted in she passing away in June 2019. But I think all of that was meant to be. I could spend a lot of time with her, go to my hometown very frequently, be with her. So I think I don't have any regrets that I had to leave, or why that after leaving suddenly this whole scenario of my personal life changed. And everyone was like, my daughter was just 2.5, and everyone was like, you should not move your roles, you should not move your jobs, leave your job to forget about it. You should not do that till your daughter or till your child is 5. You should be running as is, whatever it is. But I think I was defying the odds, like my mother, like the way I always say I am a fierce daughter to a fierce mother, who just being so courageous in her own self. So she brought me up with a lot of courage to stand up and say that I don't want to do this, I will be doing this. This is what I want to, and this excites me. So yeah, I mean that's how the whole shift and the journey came alive. And I still remember 31st of August, my last day at work. My mother was here. Her treatment was happening in Pune, and she opened the door when I came home, and she said, "Now you are a businesswoman. I'm so proud of you." And I think those were the words. I mean, I still play those when I feel, did I make a right choice? Because sometimes you get those questions for yourself, right? You become vulnerable. You have your own set of conversations with yourself. So I think that is something that I've anchored in me, that, if she had believed in me so much that there's no looking back for me. It's always the way forward, and that's how I would live for the rest of my life.
Wow. Salutes to you,
Yeah.
Shraddha. Thanks much for sharing this so personal.
Thank you for that.
Shraddha, you have
This is a lot of alignment going on right here. It is free flowing. I told you that. This is how it happens in our conversations.
wow. Thank you. So you're changing the world for the better in multiple angles. One from the corporate side, and two, the elite athletes you're coaching. And do you want to talk about the NGO that you're running?
Yeah. So this is again a very personal story, I would say. Like, I mentioned that my mother had cancer, but then after she passed away, within 6 months, my father also was diagnosed with a very aggressive kind of blood cancer. And he also passed away in August 2020, like within 8 months of the diagnosis. So in their name, I wanted to create something, and I thought, what better than helping the cancer patients, because with my journey, with their journey, I know it is not about the physical ailment. It is more from a space of your thoughts and emotions, your suppressed emotions whatsoever, which creates the disease for you. So as they go through the physical side of it, through doctors, physicians, and the whole medical fraternity or the medical help that they get, I felt that there is something that I can do for them from that perspective, to support them in their emotions and thoughts as a journey, to basically eliminate that part of it so that they can create better life
Mm.
for themselves. And that's where 2 years back I founded SJT Wellness Center, which is the full form of it is like my parents' name, Sheila Jain Thirgaonkar Wellness Center, in their name, to support the cancer patients and of course the families as well, because it's not only the health aspect. There is a lot of emotional, physical, financial, and mental support that is required, because I have seen both of my parents go through it. I have been a caregiver to them, and I know what actually it takes for a caregiver also to be in that space to support them. So, so through this initiative, I keep helping cancer patients uh, really walk on that path for their own well-being.
That's amazing, and possibly the the ease at which they breathe after being part of something like this, and uh, enabling them to look at some of their thoughts, their expressions, their way of life, and recovering not just physically but also emotionally, to let go of so many things, hold on to things that matter. I think that's a beautiful space that you're creating, and may your jugs and this thing continue to break from 10 liters to 40 liters to 40 to 100 to whatever number of liters that they are. Fascinating to say,
So
to look at it. I think, for the lack of a better question, I think it is more of saying I'm still processing whatever you just shared, and all the emotions that you shared and continue to share, even when you are verbally not sharing it. Thank you for doing that, for what you do and enabling it. So much respect and gratitude to you, and you being the medium of this happening. If we all from the Changepreneur side are coaches, if you feel that there are spaces where we can come in and add to it, on behalf of all of us, I'm taking the liberty of saying we are with you.
definitely,
We are with you.
I mean, definitely, I mean, why not? I mean, it's not a one person initiative. Never it had been. I never started it with like that. And I have people already who work with me, and anytime. Like if I know I can give a shout, and then I will be around to support. So that's a great feeling. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how are you feeling, Shraddha? How are you feeling about all that you've shared in possibly 100 minutes of conversation?
I think it's good. It's just channelizing. So I whenever I sit for a conversation like this, I just anchor myself as a channel. I think whatever has to flow in that conversation, I just allow that to happen. So empty as a channel, as always, is what I'm thinking. This
The more the empty you are, the more flows through you.
going right. So I
Absolutely.
always feel that if I have to
Mm.
be a channel, I have to be empty. And then, what can I do for being empty is keep surrendering and keep asking. But what can I do for me as a channel? So can just keep going.
So,
You're
maybe.
really a sparkling
Yeah,
soul.
yeah, yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely sparking.
So
Soul sparked us
that,
conversation. So you put us in so many interesting, thoughts in our own head. What to ask, how to ask, when to ask. I think I let go of so many questions because I'm like the channel is already moved on, so you can't go back to that space. So many things that you shared. I think I will have to sit with this episode again and see, some of these beautiful things that you shared coming back to me and all those messages coming in. Is there a question we didn't ask you?
Mm.
I don't think so. I mean, we pretty much covered a lot of aspects of my life. Um, yeah, we pretty much touched upon every um, every little detail and everything, that how it shaped up and how um, it is meant to be. I think I would want to share something here, because when you are asking me that, is there something we didn't ask you? I mean, I think from an aspiration perspective, you asked me initially that what is that one thing, and I mentioned about the Los Angeles Olympics, um, and the work that I would like to do with the athletes. I mean, I'll go back to that because I think that is that is the core of my being as an athlete, as an Indian, as a coach, and why coaching excites me is very dear to my heart. Is in that every phase of my life, like from 10 to 18, when I was into real sports coaching, how did coaching supported me? Then from during my college days to coming into the corporate zone, and then having to live with the corporate world, moving across the countries, and even traveling across the world gave me a lot. Like my first on site was in Tokyo. So I lived in Japan for more than 2 years. And what I learned from there was the big picture, because I was a developer then. And your one line of code, how it is impacting the end user. Because Japan as a country is like a very perfect one, right? There are no uh, leeways. There's no scope of mistakes. The business becomes half. So I was working with Morgan Stanley then, and a line of code breaking the reports, client reports, client reports getting delayed will reduce the business to half, and that was like a live thing I could see. So today, a lot of people don't know where their small efforts are converting to that big picture. I could see that. And that's again, I would say, a blessing that, I was just 1 year of experience when I was sent for an on site to Tokyo. And I could see that bigger picture. And today that helps me in my coaching when client comes to me, I would ask that first question: what's the big picture that you want to achieve? What the small challenges that you are wanting to solve? What is the big picture that you want to achieve? So it's very important for us to look at it that everyday life, when we are looking at solving the small challenges, if that big picture is there right in front of you, I think the journey becomes more easier and the journey becomes more aligned, because then the question comes is whether I should do it or not. Is it aligned or not is a question rather than whether I should do it or not. So the questions changed when that bigger picture comes into that space right there. So I think that space of being that professional gave me that. There were a lot of friendships though that developed with my Japanese users, and they taught me a lot. The language side of it, I have a knack of learning languages, so it gave me more to understand people at a better and different level. So I would say that every aspect of my life is like a full circle. I always start by saying this, that then I was a hurdle racer, and today I help people and businesses to solve their hurdles of life and business. Then I possibly was only Shraddha. Today I am a faith builder who helps people to build faith in their life, in their life processes, in their own zone, their own world, totally. So it's like a full circle. Then I was wanting to be a part of India Camp, and now today I know I'm part of the India Camp with the work that I'm doing, with the work that I am really wanting to put and live that peace. So that's where it all has come. And when I used to run these programs at HSBC, I think HSBC gave me a lot of leap very fast. The kind of progress that I made there was in 9 years. It was like amazing, amazing progress. Uh, Very good bosses, people who worked with me were amazing people who taught me a lot about the world, about everything. But I remember one exercise which I want to share here, and I would want our viewers also to do it. It will be very interesting one to actually attempt. Is what would your epitaph say when you're gone? Like in the Hindu culture, we don't have epitaphs. Epitaphs are the ones, those, that stone which is there. It's in the Christian culture that those stone will be, something will be written on that stone once you're gone. Like on your, it's a gravestone. On your grave, there will be a stone. There will be something written on it. So in the Hindu culture, we don't have it. But then there was an exercise right there which I used to conduct during my HSBC days, that half day programs I used to. It's all about me. And very interesting, things those came up. So if I had to ask both of you now, I know you are here to ask me questions, but I want to make it interesting. And if our viewers also have to think about it, what is it that your epitaph will say once you are gone, will reveal a lot about what kind of life you are living today. Is it aligned or is it misaligned? Is it something that um, you would be happy about at the end of it, or is it something you would regret, that I could have lived more?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, if you would like to, that will be a good thing. And then I'll
Yeah.
answer mine. But if you both want to go ahead, that will be a good thing. It's a big thought process. And that's to go.
I think for me, whatever came, the first thought was herein lies a poem. That's what will basically be
Wow.
the this thing. So I think that sort of amplifies everything that there is. So I write, and so possibly I write is a very wrong way to answer that question. I am the medium of possibly the universe writing through me, right? So that's it. That's how I put it, and all that life is mostly poetry. So whatever comes is graced with that, and even if it is bad handwriting, even if it does not rhyme, it is still poem. So I like that space, and say, so that's what it looks like.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Still thinking.
So I also write poems. I also write. I think that's the way God expresses to us, and I relate to you, Sunil, on that one. So that
Awesome, awesome. I'll share a few of mine. So some of them are good.
definitely you should share that. Yeah. So while Satish is thinking, I will just share mine. That I
Yep.
would say that keep smiling. There is more to the world than you just saw and experienced.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So I have felt very much about it that, it has to move on. Whatever experiences could be in people's lives, they must cherish it. They would cherish it. But I think there is more to the life that they still have to live, and they must keep smiling and enjoy those experiences, irrespective of the fact whether I'm there.
Wow. Keep smiling.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think there's always that space. So before we all go poetic on Satish, we'll pass that silence.
Interesting. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you, but I'm somebody who believes that every human being has the potential to live a good quality life. And I want to touch as many lives as possible and remind them that they can live a good quality life. If that is something that you can put on my epitaph, it's okay.
Wow. So amazing. So amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
somebody with good handwriting has to write all that in that tiny space. Other than that, yes.
Yeah.
So this exercises had always excited me, and there were a lot of people who got a lot of insights because of this, only this one exercise, and and it turned around a lot. It turned around a lot for a lot of people with this very simple one. Um, that what is it that you would want to be remembered as? What is it that you would be leaving it as a message for people, and that will resonate for years together, possibly as your own legacy.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
No wonder you entered into coaching, and no wonder you're helping people time warp through possibilities and make it interesting. So many interesting terminologies that have come up through the conversation. I think it deserves a second watch.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So, Sunil, perfect place to end our conversation for today.
Yeah, I
What do you
think
think?
possibly we're putting a lid on that channel that she's opened and said, "Oh, let's pass this for now." So, I think Shraddha, there are podcasts with you that I think are more to come, and that's where we see it, and I see it, and also Satish is nodding at that. So, officially, thank you for gracing us today, and I know it took. It took its own sweet time, but I think it was supposed to happen at this point of time, and it did happen. So lovely,
It
lovely to
evolved.
speak.
It evolved, and I really love this conversation totally. And I know this is not the end. We have a lot of things to talk. We will do that for sure.
Right.
But today, whatever came out whatever got expressed, whatever questions came up. I think I am grateful to both of you because there was a lot of me that showed up, and there was a lot of other side of me which possibly I got reminded of. There was a lot of anchoring that happened as well during our conversation. That yes, uh, what's there from 40 to 60, and I am taking away a lot from our conversation today. So a lot of gratitude to both of you for this conversation, bringing on these questions, and also creating that safe space for me for it to all be expressed. It means a
Oh
lot.
yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely,
much.
absolutely. The joy and pleasure is all ours. And yeah, so thank you. And to more people, keep smiling. Keep good handwriting so that things can be written well on your epitaph. And be a
I think I would want
okay.
our viewers to do that exercise because I think that will um, be be something to really poke into their own self, poke into their beings to really understand where their life is moving. I think if that could shake off something which is not required, and if that could bring up something that can support them for their rest of their lives, I think our purpose of today's conversation is always
Yes, the
Wow.
butterfly effect has taken its shape. So let's see where it leads us.
definitely look forward for that.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
It was
much.
Thank you. And take care. Bye bye.
And thanks, listeners, for patient listening. And Shraddha, you're awesome. Continue to be awesome. God bless you. God bless you all, listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you.